Hi guys, and welcome to RecoverFIT TV and our second Q&A session. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Dan.
And this week's topic is gym-related questions. So our first question is, how do you have a strong gym session? Now, I know you might think differently, but I'm going to ask Mr. Jim over here because I'm not sure I enter the gym for.
Ryan's not a big gymmer. He kind of dips in once every 6 months to do a gym session, and then
put it on Instagram, and
that's him. That's him for the session. So, how do you have a strong gym session? I think a lot of it's down to mentality and focus. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
You can follow any program that might be suited to your needs, and hopefully people that are following this account have got good programs, good coaches around them. But it ultimately comes down to your focus and mentality during that session.
Yeah.
If you're not fully engaged in the exercise that you're doing, or fully engaged in the effort that you have to put into it, I don't think you'll reap the benefits of it. It's very easy to sit in the gym, in a nice commercial gym, and few bicep cut. Nah, that's maybe I'll do a stepper for 5 minutes and do the old. Realistically, are you going to gain results like that? Probably not.
Agree.
So I think a lot of it is just about having that focus for that task in hand at the time, and really trying to reap everything out of that specific moment.
So would you rather do a short session and be 100% focused than do your session that's actually planned on your piece of paper but only do it half-hearted?
Yeah, so for me, I'd rather have shorter sessions and more of them. For me specifically, if I work for too long, my brain it doesn't want to do it. It just switches off.
So, question 2. How do you get motivated to work out at home?
I think it's all about goals again, to be honest with you. Something I read recently is like the work you put in private, you'll reap the reward for in public. So your goals, whatever they may be, you work hard at them at home, give it everything you've got, because realistically, if you're not going to work towards your goal, no one else is going to do it for you.
No.
So it's incredibly hard in terms of being at home, not necessarily being able to leave the house to go somewhere to do your work, but actually you can reframe that and be grateful that you've got the opportunity to train. Be grateful that your body is able to be put through these things, and then whilst you're doing that, over a number of weeks, you will reap the reward then when you come back to the gyms or whatever your goals might be for public to see it.
No, I agree with that. I think for me, it's have a plan. Don't go, I'm going to train today. I'm a big, the downfall is that I go, I'm going to do a run today. And because I haven't planned it in, I think that I get to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and I haven't done it now. I'll do it tomorrow. I think if you go, right, I'm getting up at 7 o'clock. I'm going to do 10 past 7 to 8 o'clock. That's my workout. I think that's
we're creatures of habit as well. At the end of the day. So setting those things in, setting a routine in on I train at this time. At this time of day, I train this many days a week, and setting to that habit, soon that habit just turns into a lifestyle, and it becomes a lot easier.
The first few weeks are
it's always going to be hard. It's always going to be hard.
You're probably going to miss sessions and things like that, but I think, I agree with you. You've got to set them targets, but they've got to be realistic.
Yeah.
So question 3, what's important to progress when working out in the gym?
We could talk about this all day really, and you could probably touch on again the last couple of questions that we've touched on, but also fundamentally having a good training plan. There's people in very well paid positions or doing this for a job for a reason at the end of the day. If you've not got a good training plan that's putting progression in there, allowing for adaptation, etc., realistically
goal setting.
And goal setting, as we said, you've got to have your goals in there to start with, and if you have a training plan that is focused towards those goals, that is then where you're obviously again gonna progress from being in the gym, rather than just going in there and thinking, today I fancy lifting a few weights up, and I don't know, I'll do a couple of bicep curls, I'll do a couple on the leg extension. Realistically, what weight are you doing? What weight did you do last week? How many sets have you done? All these different things that actually lead to progression over time, rather than just random exercises chucked in because you've gone to the gym for the day, for example.
Do you think spreading yourself too thin is a problem with that? So if you try and do every exercise under the sun, you're going to progress very, slightly through all of them. But if you focus on, 5, 6, 7 exercises like you do in your favourite sport of CrossFit, you're gonna like perform them better because you're gonna progress with them better because you're only doing a certain amount of exercise.
Yeah, so I think like sessions really can be tailored. Obviously, you know, there's things to it where many exercises will also hit the same muscle groups or whatever else, and so, you know, realistically, do you need to do 7 different exercises that really one could do? Probably not, but you know, again, it probably comes back to the question before. Some people will go in and be in the gym for hours upon end, hitting the same thing over and over again with different exercises, and yes, they've probably overloaded that muscle massively, but maybe they've overloaded it too much and they could have got a better benefit from doing something else or an accessory work. You know, like you say, I love my CrossFit, and you know, I like to work and I like to train at intensity. It's where I feel that I get firstly the most out of myself, and I think firstly from first-hand experience coaching CrossFit, I see, you know, the benefits in others as well.
Yeah, I think whatever whatever modality you train in, I think you've just got to set targets, haven't you? You got to see where you're at from the first instance, and then you can only progress from there. I think that's there's
no doubt about it. You know, there's fantastic ways of training whatever your goals are, and it's about, like we said, having those goals and then having a plan that fits and works to get into those goals.
Write it down, notes, phone.
Yeah, 100%.
Physically writing it down.
And there's loads you can find online in terms of, you know, I want to, let's just say, for example, you know, I want to get a bigger chest, he needs one. You know, you can Google how to get a bigger chest, like what training, like hypertrophy, you know we want bigger rep ranges, not necessarily looking at our 1 to 3 reps, but looking up at the 8 to 10 to 12 reps, etc. like that. So it's having that knowledge. Yes, a coach and a program to follow is like the best way of doing it, but obviously you can still find loads of good information on that sort of thing online.
Perfect. So question 4, how do you recover after a gym session? I'm going to take the lead on this. I think you've got to look at your basics. We're talking about a general day-to-day working gym goer, you've got to look at the basics. So water, hydration, before, after, like you need some serious water in your body compared to what people think. I think that's a massive part. And then the next one, you've got to eat right before you even look at any of our products, our amazing products.
No, you got all of them as well.
Yeah, of course. But you've got to do the basics right, and I think that the water, hydration, and food is really important.
Yeah, and then another pure basic on that is sleep.
Yeah.
I get taken the mick out of a fair amount from a few friends of mine because like my 8 to 10 hours a night is really super important to me. So if I have to go to
trust me, it's really important.
If I have to go to bed at 8:30 to get that, like I'll do it because to me it is important to get that recovery in so that the next day I'm at my optimal training place. So those 3 things first and foremost before you look into anything else is the foundations of recovery from the gym. And then like for me again, you know, when you then have those foundations, you can then begin to build on it like anything. Cooling down, foam rolling, stuff like that directly after training, getting that muscle fascia that's potentially just got really tight in there, just releasing it for a second and allowing it then for the blood to move through the muscles rather than just contract, stay stiff, stay tight, muscle fibers begin to, you know, all overlap in a way that isn't conducive then to kind of blood flow and growth through things. So that's kind of my tips on recovery would be like directly afterwards, getting on a foam roller, cooling down properly, rather than just stopping and sitting stiff in a chair for the rest of the night in front of the TV.
I agree. And if you have an amazing gym with all the recovery facilities you can possibly think of, use them. Question 5 ties in nicely with the previous question actually. What are your thoughts on a cool down?
Yeah, so it's probably a really overlooked part of training.
It seems a little bit of an old school term.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit. I think a lot of people now do their workout and that's the important bit, that's the cool bit, isn't it? The working out and the cool down and stuff, you know, is because it's probably come from like old school football term and stuff. It's like not a cool thing to do, and a cool down doesn't necessarily have to look like those, 90s videos, you're probably thinking of doing your cool downs with a few of your old sexy circles in there. Just, it hasn't got to look like that, but it's actually a really important part of training, for your muscles and your lungs or whatever else, to go from a high intensity to then come down to normal, rather than having to go kind of straight down. Is to just bring that down slowly and allow movement still through the muscles as well. So it's something that's really overlooked. In my training, I know personally I really overlook it, but I also know when I do it, I benefit from it. So it's just about having that mindset of it, how important it is for your recovery, and thinking ahead. If I recover, then I can train better.
100%. And I think, for members at our gym, Train Fit, I think it's something that you don't want to stop your workout and then jump in your car. Not so much for your muscle sake, but just for your general well-being. I think you need to calm down. Your heart rate needs to reduce, just so you go into your car with a clear head, and you're not getting home, you're really sweating, you're all worked up. I think that's a kind of an important one. And then you get home, you're relaxed, you've done your gym session, you can tick that off, and then you can focus on
I think the other thing on that as well, just thinking about it there when you're talking about the gym, people do have really busy lives. It's about a lot of people for gym, it's how to prioritise that within your life. But I think, cooling down and you and your lifestyle and your health really is what we're kind of looking at here, should be prioritised. So whilst we completely understand that people are super busy and I can't really stay around to stretch for 10 minutes after, well, actually, that is actually progressing your health and helping your health. So actually, could you knock 10 minutes of watching TV off to swap it there?
I think a lot of take 10 minutes for yourself and enjoy the 10 minutes of actually not coming to the gym and working your absolute nuts off. Enjoy the 10 minutes and have it for yourself, and it will really benefit you.
For sure.
So thank you for listening to RecoverFIT TV. Thank you very much for your questions on our Instagram story. We will be back next week with another Q&A session. You can find me on Instagram, ryan.brunt.
And me at Dan Mugford 1012.
Please like this post and share it to anyone you think it would benefit. Be better.
Be better.